Jojo Siwa has lost her frickin' mind and the internet can't look away. Once a Nickelodeon darling, she's now grinding on stage and chugging vodka at Disney World. Her music video Karma just became the most disliked female artist video on YouTube in 2024. Remember when it was Rebecca Black just a decade ago? But it gets worse. She lied about performing for 55,000 people at Miami Pride. The real crowd? Maybe a couple thousand. And let's not forget about her bizarre obsession with Poland, complete with fake claims about Eurovision. Jojo's desperately trying to shed her kid-friendly image, but it's backfiring spectacularly. She's alienating fans, confusing audiences, and racking up controversies faster than she can say glitter, the rebrand nobody asked for. Jojo Siwa's recent attempt to shed her kid-friendly image has been nothing short of a spectacular disaster. It's as if she woke up one day and decided to speedrun puberty, adolescence, and early adulthood all at once, leaving her fans and the internet at large in a state of collective whiplash. The catalyst for this transformation was her music video for Karma. Gone were the bright colors, sparkles, and positive messages that made her famous. The internet's reaction was swift and merciless. Karma quickly racked up dislikes faster than a cat video accumulates views, eventually becoming the most disliked female artist music video on YouTube in 2024. With 2.4 million thumbs down, Jojo achieved the dubious honor of making people actively hate her music more than they passively ignored it before. But here's where things take a turn for the bizarre. Jojo seems genuinely proud of this achievement. In a TikTok video that left viewers wondering if they'd stumbled into some parallel universe, she gleefully announced her record-breaking dislikes as if she had won a Grammy. "I'm the only person that can say I beat Taylor Swift on a list of something," she proclaimed, apparently unaware that topping the most hated list isn't quite the flex she thinks it is. This misguided pride and negative attention is a recurring theme in Jojo's rebrand. It's as if she's operating under the assumption that all publicity is good publicity, even if that publicity involves millions of people collectively deciding they'd rather listen to nails on a chalkboard rather than her music. The Karma debacle was just the beginning. Jojo seems determined to prove her adulthood through a series of increasingly cringeworthy stunts. Take, for instance, her 21st birthday celebration at Disney World. Through a series of TikToks that grew progressively more painful to watch, Jojo claims to have consumed 18 drinks in a single day at Epcot. This leaves us with two possibilities. Either Jojo has the alcohol tolerance of a Norse god, or she's greatly exaggerating for attention. Given her recent behavior, the smart money is on the latter. This Disney World stunt perfectly encapsulates the problem with Jojo's rebrand. She's so eager to prove she's an adult that she's acting like a caricature of what a child thinks an adult is. It's as if she looked at the most obnoxious spring break videos and thought, yes, this is what maturity looks like. The Miami Beach Pride Festival became the stage for Jojo Siwa's most spectacular display of delusion and desperation yet. What should have been a celebration of identity and acceptance turned into a cringeworthy spectacle that left audiences more confused than entertained.
I saw you at the Miami Pride.
Yes.
It was some record-breaking, like 50,000 people or something.
50,000 people.
And you crushed it.
It was the most people they've ever had at Miami Pride during my set.
Come on.
50,000 people.
Let's start with Jojo's bold claim. She boasted about performing for a record-breaking crowd of 55,000 people. This wasn't just a casual exaggeration tossed out on social media. No. Jojo doubled down on this claim during an appearance on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. But there was just one tiny problem. It wasn't remotely true. Video evidence from the event tells a very different story. The crowd, while certainly present, was nowhere near the size Jojo claimed. We're talking maybe a couple thousand people at best. It's as if Jojo looked at a medium-sized gathering and thought, you know what would make this better? If I multiplied it by 20. However, the crowd-size controversy was just the opening act in the circus of secondhand embarrassment. Jojo's actual performance was a masterclass in how not to transition from child star to adult performer. Even that performance video got 4 times more dislikes than likes. First, there was the lip-syncing. Now, lip-syncing at large events isn't uncommon, but Jojo's attempt was about as subtle as a glitter explosion. Then came the dancing. Oh, the dancing. Apparently, in Jojo's mind, the best way to prove you're an adult is to gyrate awkwardly and hump the air with the enthusiasm of a chihuahua greeting its owner. It was less sexy and more concerning. The real kicker, though, was Jojo's on-stage behavior. Between songs, or perhaps during them, it was hard to tell. Jojo launched into a series of unhinged rants that left the audience wondering if they'd stumbled into some avant-garde performance art piece. Jojo Siwa's performance at Miami Pride wasn't just a musical misfire. It was a verbal train wreck that left audiences wondering if they were witnessing the real-time unraveling of a former child star.
My is bigger than his.
The meltdown began at LA Pride, with what can only be described as the straight guy rant. Apparently, a straight man had the audacity to criticize her performance online, and JoJo, in all her newfound maturity, decided the best response was to address it mid-show. With all the eloquence of a middle school locker room argument, she proclaimed, "My is bigger than his, and I f***ed more girls than him." Here's a performer who's supposedly confident in her new adult image, yet she feels the need to respond to online criticism with more crude sexual boasts. It's less empowered adult and more teenager who just learned swear words.
There is a 6-year-old right there. Why the f are you here? I love it.
But JoJo wasn't done. In a moment that perfectly encapsulates the problem with her rebrand, she spotted a young child in the crowd. Now, a responsible adult performer might have toned down their act or, question why a child was present at an adult-oriented show. Not our JoJo. No siree. Instead, she claimed, "There is a 6-year-old right here. Why the f are you here? I love it. I am so here for it. You're awesome, dude." This incident is troubling on multiple levels, if you ask me. First, it shows a complete lack of awareness about appropriate boundaries, encouraging the presence of young children at an event where you're using explicit language and sexual content is, to put it mildly, problematic. Second, it highlights the fundamental contradiction in JoJo's rebrand. She's desperately trying to prove she's an adult, yet she still can't seem to shake her connection to her younger audience. Or worse, she's trying to drag that younger audience into her new, more adult world. The cringe factor reached new heights when JoJo decided that her performance really needed some self-groping, in a move that left many audience members visibly uncomfortable. JoJo began fondling herself on stage. It was a far cry from the wholesome image she once portrayed, and not in a good way. The gesture was so awkward and forced that it felt like a less of a confident display of sexuality, and more like a cry for help. Throughout her performance, JoJo prepared her set with even more profanity-laden rants. She took shots at England of all places, claiming she had performed in front of fucking 6-year-olds louder than you. It's unclear what England did to her ire, but it seems that JoJo's new persona includes a healthy dose of random antagonism. This onstage meltdown is more than just a bad performance. It's a vivid illusion of an identity crisis playing out in real time. JoJo seems caught between two worlds: the safe, child-friendly environment where she came from, and the adult world she's trying so hard to be a part of. The result is a messy, uncomfortable hybrid that satisfies neither audience. As the echoes of JoJo's onstage meltdown continued, she made another bold statement. In recent interviews, JoJo has cited that she has Miley Cyrus as her inspiration for this rebrand. She specifically mentioned Miley's bangers era, saying, "When I was 8 is when Miley had her bangers moment, and I was like, all I want is to have that one day." JoJo, at the tender age of 8, watched Miley Cyrus transition from Disney darling to controversial pop provocateur and thought, yeah, that's what growing up looks like. It's as if she took a mental snapshot of Miley twerking on Robin Thicke at the VMAs and filed it away as career goals. The problem is, JoJo seems to have mistaken shock value for artistic growth, conflating controversy with maturity. Who do you think is more to blame for this situation? JoJo herself, team managing her, or her parents? Share your thoughts in the comments section and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Kanye West. Yay, yip, zapper, whatever he's calling himself nowadays, has officially entered the no turning back phase of his public meltdown. The man who once revolutionized hip-hop is now out here publicly declaring his love for Hitler. Oh boy, strap in, guys. He made graduation. He's the greatest of all time. No, there's a line that was crossed. He's been wearing swastika-covered merch, saying that Jewish people were better as slaves, and even accused Elon Musk of stealing his Nazi swag. Yeah, that is a sentence that exists in 2025. So if you thought his anti-Semitic rants in 2022 were rock bottom, think again. Kanye grabbed a shovel and started digging. His X account is gone again. His fashion brand was selling hate symbols for $20, and he showed up to the Grammys with his wife in a dress that honestly looked like content you'd find on an OF page. Kanye West, as we all know, has never been one to shy away from controversy. I mean, who can forget when he stormed the stage and ruined Taylor Swift's big moment? Yikes. But if anything, he's made a career out of it. But But recently, he's decided to take it to a level we all thought was impossible. In a now infamous rant on social media platform X, Kanye decided to declare his love for one of the most reviled figures in history. He posted without any sense of irony or self-awareness, "I love Hitler. What now? Yes, you heard that right. Hitler. The same guy who's responsible for one of the darkest periods in human history, and Kanye, in all his Kanye-ness, thought it would be a good idea to declare his admiration for this man. To say the world was shocked, well, that would be an understatement. But at this point, I mean, are we even surprised anymore? When Kanye's the one behind the wheel, it's like we've all accepted that the car is going to crash. It's only a matter of when. But this wasn't just another tweet that we'd scroll past and shake our heads at. This was an unprecedented leap into the realm of utter insanity. And of course, the backlash came in full force. Celebrities, fans, politicians, and literally anyone with a social media account were grabbing their pitchforks and raising their voices in outrage. Elon Musk unfollowed him on X, disgusted by his actions, and yet Kanye, being the stable-minded guy that he is, decided to double down. It's as if he looked at the backlash and said, "You think this is bad? Hold my Yeezy." Now, if you thought Kanye's declaration of love for Hitler was the most insane thing, he'd say in this particular tirade, yeah, you'd be dead wrong. Enter Elon Musk, tech mogul and the man responsible for some of the world's most bizarre Twitter interactions. Somehow, Kanye managed to accuse Musk of, wait for it, stealing his Nazi swag at Donald Trump's inauguration. Yep, Nazi swag. Oh my God, what is this? And how do we get off this ride? In a truly bizarre sequence of social media posts, Kanye accused Elon of walking into Trump's inauguration and taking his Nazi swag like it was a jacket on a coat rack. "Elon stole my Nazi swag at the inauguration. Yo, my guy, get your own third rail," Kanye wrote, because, of course, that makes perfect sense, right? Right. Elon Musk, being the classy tech billionaire he is, hasn't responded to Kanye's allegations yet. But honestly, how do you even respond to something like this? Maybe just post a tweet that says, "I'm too busy launching rockets," and leave it at that. Talk about a mic drop moment. Because once you get sucked into the Kanye vortex, there's no telling how deep you'll go. And just when we thought this Kanye saga couldn't get any worse, enter his aggressive defense of some questionable figures in the celebrity world, specifically Sean Diddy Combs and Chris Brown. Oh boy, here we go. Because when you're Kanye, the next logical step is to rush to the defense of men who have definitely had their fair share of scandalous moments. I'll be honest, I would say at this point I'm questioning where he thought this was a good idea, but at this point nothing surprises me with him anymore. So Kanye publicly declared that there's a concerted effort to cancel these two. Apparently Kanye feels that Diddy and Chris Brown are the victims of some larger conspiracy to destroy them. You know, because they're super talented. Nothing to do with what they really did. In an unexpected turn of events, he even made a plea to former President Donald Trump to pardon Diddy, who is currently facing a range of, let's just say, very serious allegations. I wonder what spending a day in Kanye's head would be like. Now, defending these two men, let's be real, is like trying to argue that pizza rolls is gourmet dining. Sure, if you squint hard enough and ignore the obvious, you could probably make an argument for it, but at the end of the day, it's just not a solid move. Kanye's logic, however, seems to be that no one should be canceled and that everyone deserves a second chance, even if their second chance involves a history of very questionable decisions. I mean, let's be real. Defending Chris Brown in 2025 is like buying a one-way ticket to a confirmed disaster. Man, I'm glad Kanye's not a pilot. Like, are we really defending the guy who infamously assaulted Rihanna all those years ago? Kanye, buddy, this might be the worst PR move yet. And trust me, there's been a lot to choose from. Next, he'll probably start defending R. Kelly and preaching about how he couldn't help himself and he just had urges. Trust me, Kanye, that is not a railroad you want to be heading down. But at this point, as I've said, nothing surprises me. And now, let's talk about Kanye's personal life, because if his public antics weren't enough to keep us entertained, the drama surrounding his marriage to Bianca Censori is spicy, to say the least. In a completely wild statement, Kanye proclaimed, "I have dominion over my wife. This ain't no woke-ass feminist shit." Excuse me, what? This might just be the most 2025 sentence we've ever heard. Kanye is out here declaring that he holds dominion over his wife like this is some medieval monarchy and not a partnership in a modern progressive society. Look, we're all for a little confidence in a relationship, but dominion? In 2025, this sounds less like a marriage and more like an episode of The Bachelor Medieval Edition. Not surprisingly, Bianca has also denied being behind social media posts expressing concern for Kanye after his controversial rants. Apparently, while Kanye's running around declaring dominion over her, Bianca's out here doing some damage control, because nothing says healthy partnership like denying your husband's meltdown on social media. There's a lot of mystery swirling around their relationship. The dynamics of it are all like an unsolved puzzle, one that's missing half its pieces. But hey, at least we know Kanye is still out here making headlines, even if it's not for the best reasons. But in case you didn't think Kanye shenanigans couldn't get any worse, here comes the cherry on top: swastika-themed merchandise. That's right, folks. Easy dropped a $20 white t-shirt with a swastika on it and labeled it HH-01, which, according to the Anti-Defamation League, is shorthand for Hail Hitler in 2025. It's almost as if Kanye was trying to break every fashion rule ever written and then decided to burn the book for good measure. Of course, the backlash was immediate with tweets like, "N-word was literally selling swastika shirts, bruh." The Anti-Defamation League condemned the move, and many critics called for the merchandise to be pulled off the shelves immediately, and Shopify banned him for good. But Kanye? He wasn't backing down. Many have been making fun of his situation, and honestly, this feels like a one-way ticket to irreversible damage. It's almost like he's been playing some sort of twisted game of how far can I push this before even my most loyal fans jump off the sinking ship. And just when he thought Kanye couldn't get any more unhinged, he decided to curse the internet with porn. Yes, actual porn. The man logged on to X and started posting explicit content like he was running a rogue adult film account. People were outraged and posted on X against it instantly. And guess what? Elon Musk, of all people, had to step in, saying Kanye was now classified as not safe for work. That's right, the guy who owns a platform known for pretty much no holds barred finally had to draw a line. If Elon Musk is telling you you've gone too far, then buddy, you've really lost the plot. But it doesn't end here. After so much criticism and hate, Kanye decided that maybe leaving X after this long, controversial rant was a good idea. So yeah, right now this guy has been deactivated and no one knows when he'll return to say another mischievous hello. Kanye West, the man who once stood atop the music world like a creative giant, is now just chaos personified. At this point, the world is left watching with a mixture of disbelief and dread, and even Kanye's greatest defenders can't spin this disaster into something positive. What do you think about that? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked the video, then don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and explore other videos there. Thanks for watching. From YouTube boxing champion to Twitter crybaby, KSI's entire empire is crumbling faster than a house of cards in a hurricane. Once hailed as the king of British YouTube, he's now drowning in a sea of his own tears, all because of a lunchbox. That's right, a lunchbox. KSI's latest venture, Prime Hydration's Lunchly, has sparked a firestorm of controversy. KSI went from YouTube's golden boy to its biggest laughingstock, all because he couldn't handle a single tweet from Minecraft legend Dan TDM. It all started with a simple idea: revolutionize the lunch game for kids. KSI, along with his newfound besties, Logan Paul and Mr. Beast, decided to launch Lunchly, a supposedly healthier alternative to Lunchables. Little do they know, this decision would be the catalyst for KSI's spectacular fall from grace. The product itself was nothing short of a joke. Despite claims of being a healthier option, Lunchly was essentially Lunchables with a fancy new box and 80 fewer calories. That's right, the groundbreaking innovation these multi-millionaire influencers came up with was removing less than half a banana's worth of calories from a processed kids meal. But the real kicker? They had the audacity to market this as a revolution in children's nutrition. KSI, in all of his infinite wisdom, proudly proclaimed, "We've made something better. If you don't believe me, try it out for yourself." Spoiler alert, it wasn't better. In fact, it wasn't even different. While KSI and his crew were busy patting themselves on the back for their innovative creation, one voice of reason decided to speak up. Dan TDM, the OG Minecraft YouTuber, an actual respectable content creator, dropped a truth bomb that would send KSI into an epic spiral. In a single tweet, Dan TDM called out the Lunchly trio for their blatant cash grab. "What happened to YouTubers, man? I cannot say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money. Simple. How does this benefit their fans? This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to trust the people who are selling it to them. Do better. Now, for any normal person, this might have been a moment of self-reflection, a chance to step back and think, hey, maybe we messed up here. But KSI isn't just any normal person. Oh no, he's a special breed of man-child who apparently can't handle even the mildest criticism without having a complete meltdown. Instead of taking Dan TDM's words to heart, KSI decided to embark on a Twitter rampage that would make even the most unhinged internet trolls blush. It was as if someone had flipped a switch in his brain from successful YouTuber to petulant toddler in the blink of an eye.
If you just type in Dan TDM sweets, there's countless of videos of him eating sweets, promoting sweets to his audience, but cool. You know, but again, this was another complaint that I heard a lot.
KSI's first brilliant move? Digging up a 9-year-old video of Dan TDM promoting candy to his audience. Apparently in KSI's world, a one-time sponsorship deal from nearly a decade ago is exactly the same as creating and marketing your own potentially harmful product to children. The logic is, flawless, isn't it?
Where was the same energy when Ryan Trahan released sweets? Where was the same energy when FaZe Rog released sweets? Now, I'm not throwing them under the bus because I tried both of their sweets and it's fantastic. It's actually one of the best sweets I've had in a long time.
But he didn't stop there. Oh no, KSI was just getting started. He went on to attack Dan TDM for selling merchandise, comparing action figures to processed food as if they were remotely in the same ballpark. It was like watching a drowning man trying to use a brick as a flotation device. Painfully misguided and ultimately self-destructive. The cherry on top of this cringe Sunday, KSI's repeated insistence that people were only criticizing Lunchly because they hate us. That's right, folks. In KSI's mind, it couldn't be possibly because he made a mistake. No. It had to be because the entire internet had banded together in a vast conspiracy to bring him down, all over a lunchbox. Yeah, you heard that right. As the days went on, KSI's tweets became increasingly unhinged. He attacked other YouTubers, played the victim card, and even tried to deflect criticism by bringing up completely unrelated problems and products from other creators. It was a masterclass in how to not handle a PR crisis, and the internet was loving every second of it. The memes were going crazy, I swear. If KSI thought Twitter was bad, he was in for a rude awakening when he decided to address the controversy on his own subreddit. In a video titled "Everybody Hates Us Right Now," KSI had made a meager attempt to defend Lunchly and his actions. The result? A complete and utter disaster. The video was a train wreck from start to finish. KSI alternated between forced laughter and whining about how unfair everyone was to him. He doubled down on his attacks against Dan TDM, completely missing the point of the criticism and instead focusing on irrelevant details from years ago. But the real story wasn't KSI's pathetic attempts at damage control. It was the reaction from his own fans. The video was ratioed into oblivion, with dislikes far outnumbering likes. The comment section was a bloodbath, with even diehard KSI supporters expressing their disappointment and frustration in his behavior. One fan summed it up perfectly. "I've been a fan for years, but this is just embarrassing. You're a grown man having a meltdown over a tweet about a lunchbox. Get it together, JJ." The subreddit, once a bastion of KSI support, turned into a hotbed of memes and criticism. Fans who stood by him through controversies in the past were now openly mocking him. It was clear that KSI had crossed a line, and his audience was no longer willing to give him a free pass. As if KSI's meltdown wasn't entertaining enough on its own, his business partner and former rival, Logan Paul, decided to throw his hat into the ring, in a move that surprised absolutely no one. Logan came to KSI's defense, with all the grace and intelligence of a concussed sloth.
These motherfuckers are complaining about a lunchbox. These motherfuckers are complaining about a lunch kit. That's what this whole thing is about. A lunch kit. There's way more crazier things happening in this world, but people want to go in on this lunch kit.
That's what I'm saying.
What was Logan's contribution to this dumpster fire? I'll give you a moment. A video where he essentially parroted KSI's talking points while adding his own special brand of idiocy to the mix. He claimed that the criticism was just jealousy, that people were hating on their success, and that Lunchly was actually doing the world a favor by existing. Yeah, very classy, Logan, very classy. But the real kicker came when Logan tried to explain the science behind Lunchly. In a moment that will live in internet infamy, he proudly proclaimed that their product was superior just like Lunchables. But bro, Lunchables is on a completely different level. You can't even sit in the line where Lunchables are. As the backlash continued to mount, KSI finally seemed to realize that maybe, just maybe, he'd messed up a little bit. In a move that was clearly designed by a PR team in full panic mode, he decided to issue an apology on Twitter. The tweet read, "A lot has happened these past few days online, so I'm addressing everything below." Sounds promising, right? Well, hold on to your hat, folks, because this is where it gets truly pathetic. When users clicked the link to the tweet, expecting some kind of heartfelt apology or at least an acknowledgement of wrongdoing, they were instead redirected to a pre-save page for KSI's new single, Thick of It. That's right, in the middle of the biggest controversy of his career, with fans turning against him left and right, KSI, in his ever-growing wisdom, thought that the best move was to use the situation to promote his music. It was on a level of tone deafness that would make even the most out-of-touch celebrity cringe. And it sounds like it comes out of an early 2000 Disney's movie. The backlash was swift and merciless. Fans who had been holding out hope that KSI might redeem himself were now fully convinced that he cared more about his bank account than his integrity. The community notes feature on Twitter had a field day, with users quickly pointing out the deceptive nature of the apology. As the Lunchly controversy continued to spiral out of control, it wasn't just KSI's reputation that was taking a hit. Reports began to surface that Prime, the hydration drink that he'd launched with Logan Paul, was now being sold on clearance in some stores. While it's unclear whether this was directly related to the Lunchly fiasco or just a coincidence, the timing couldn't have been worse for KSI. The image of his prized product being sold at discount prices only had fuel to the fires of his critics, who were quick to point out that maybe, just maybe, his business acumen wasn't as sharp as he thought. But the real damage wasn't to KSI's wallet, it was to his legacy. Once seen as a scrappy underdog who'd worked his way to the top through sheer determination, KSI was now being viewed as another greedy influencer willing to sell out his young fans for a quick buck. So, what do you think? Will Dan TDM take down the whole KSI empire or not? Share your thoughts in the comments section down below, and don't forget to subscribe. Over the years, we've danced to Ariana Grande's hits like Thank You Next, admired her ponytail physics, and seen her effortlessly land the perfect style. But lately, it's not her music that's captured an audience. It's something more drastic, confusing, and heart-wrenching. From crying in every interview after taking part in the movie Wicked to looking skinnier every time on screen, Ariana Grande's situation just gets worse every passing day. This has made the spotlight feel more like a microscope, with wild theories flying around and even crazier comments rolling, and everyone asking about Ariana's awkward position. Everything's a mystery, with people throwing guesses like darts in a dark room. We haven't experienced it, but we do know what happens when you become a global star. Of course, everyone with access to Wi-Fi scrutinizes you to the nth degree. Fame is a double-edged sword, and Ariana is no stranger to that. But lately, the situation has gotten a little out of hand. Fans and critics alike have noticed that she looks very different these days. Thinner, paler, and dare I say, more delicate. Her face is skinnier, her demeanor more emotional, her collarbone more visible, her cheeks sinking, and her face paler. Dear, oh dear, she's looking like a Barbie doll. People obviously took notice, and as Ariana has not given any reason, people have made these theories themselves. Oh boy, do they have theories. They include cancer, the cursed role, malnutrition, stress, and things that will make you hold your dropping jaw. But before coming to the wild theories, let's just discuss the elephant in the room first. Who knew a few years back that Ariana would receive advice on protein-enriched foods from people everywhere? The cursed role. Some say that Ariana must have done this on purpose for the role of Glinda, as her co-star Cynthia had also undergone weight loss in the past years for the role in Wicked. It seemed possible. Thus, she might have been dieting or worse, starved for the role of Glinda. To avoid people eyeing her like analyzing machines, Ariana even started wearing baggy clothes wherever she went. But for how long? Ariana has been open about her love for the role of Glinda. Even back in 2019, she talked about Wicked on the Zach Sang Show. She described it as her dream role, and this was saying something because Ariana later said that she doesn't really talk about it because it would make her cry.
Wicked? Is that different though?
That's very different. Oh, that's very different. Yeah, that's very different. I'd do anything.
Elphaba.
I don't want to talk about it because I'm gonna cry, and like I would do anything.
It wasn't just any casual wish, it was a moment of true manifestation. But guess what? After this role, she's been crying a lot. When she finally was chosen for the role of Glinda, it was a dream come true, and her crying made sense. When she had to leave, she cried then as well. As Ariana herself states, it gives her a profound headache. She couldn't get anything done right. She couldn't even get up to do makeup or get ready. Her obsession with the role is far more unhealthy than we can imagine. This has led many to state that the role of Glinda in Wicked is cursed and draining her away. No matter how much she may defend it, nothing can deny the truth facing them in the form of a weaker Ariana and Cynthia.
A headache from crying so hard. I couldn't even get my makeup on. I couldn't get anything on. Yeah. So special.
It might have been the stress of perfectly landing her favorite role that she ignored totally for her health. However, her hair has been thinning on the sides, let alone her massive weight loss. She has told many times that she forgets to eat in times of stress, which might also be the case. Her eyes have also lost the usual shine, replaced by the sparkle of tears in her eyes. I get it. You know, she wanted her favorite role, but she may have signed a deal with the devil. What's more, her deteriorating health has been justified by her in the most unsatisfactory ways. According to her, a few years back, she used a lot of antidepressants to keep healthy and fit, and now she is doing much better. What we see as healthy is totally the opposite. But is that so, or is she hiding something? Some people have gone as far as to say that her hair loss and weight loss might indicate a serious disease. Others have been bold enough to state it as cancer. Some have even posted fake news and unproven facts that have raised concerns, but let's just be real. The situation might be drastic, but people are trying to hyper it to their benefit as well. It's no good denying that Ariana has faced too many emotional ups and downs to be totally stable. If you look at it, Ariana Grande's love life is a bit of a soap opera, isn't it? From her sweet days with Mac Miller, rest in peace, to her whirlwind marriage with Dalton Gomez, and now her wickedly controversial chapter with Ethan Slater. Girl's been through it. Fans say that it's a contributing factor to her lack of health. Ariana and Mac Miller were the kind of couple that made fans swoon, but life isn't always a fairy tale. On September 7th, 2018, Mac passed away from an accidental drug overdose. He was just 26. For Ariana, this was a punch to the gut. She openly mourned him, sharing heartfelt tributes and even referencing him in her music. Remember the lyric from Thank You Next? Wish I could thank Malcolm because he was an angel? Mac's death wasn't just a heartbreak. It was a wound, and that shaped Ariana's outlook on love and life. Then came Dalton Gomez, the charming real estate agent. By 2020 in December, they were engaged, and by 2021 in May, they tied the knot in an intimate ceremony with just 20 guests. A micro wedding for a megastar? It was a bold choice, but it worked for a while. Fast forward to February 2023, and the honeymoon phase was officially over. Ariana and Dalton separated, citing irreconcilable differences. Their issues originated from Ariana's participation in the film. The curse of the film might be true after all. By March of 2024, the divorce was finalized, with Ariana cutting a $1.25 million check as part of the settlement. Talk about a pricey breakup. Here's where the plot thickens. In July 2023, rumors about Ariana and her Wicked co-star Ethan Slater started swirling. Ethan, best known for playing SpongeBob on Broadway, was married with a baby. Talk about complicated. The timing couldn't have been worse. Ariana's divorce was fresh ink on the papers, and Ethan was reportedly still figuring out his separation from his wife, Lily J. The internet was not amused. Fans criticized the relationship, and Lily even called herself collateral damage in this whole mess. Jeez Louise, this is a pretty messy kind of love life, isn't it? Ariana and Ethan have kept things low-key, but the drama hasn't died down. It's been a nightmare. From rumors of backstage chemistry to whispers about how it's affecting the Wicked production, but the story doesn't end there. We've got rumors that these two are separating now. Oopsies. Ariana's love life might be messier than a soap opera, and this emotional turmoil must have gotten to their head. What do you think? As if this wasn't enough, people have gotten a new theory regarding Ariana's situation. One person stated in a Facebook post, everyone is saying Ariana Grande looks thin and sick. Well, she told you she went into the portal graveyard, the Stoll Cemetery, aka the Gates of Hell. 3 demons came with her in the car, and in a photo she took, she has Baphomet symbols in her videos. Her lyrics said, I made a deal with the devil and God as a woman with the Illuminati symbol, and 22 people died at her concert. When and what will it take for you to stop calling us conspiracy theorists and realize Satan is here and he's collecting his soldiers to take you down? Well, this is one of the wilder theories regarding her, making the situation even messier. Ariana Grande has spoken about how people have targeted her and that the situation is hurtful. With tears welling up in her eyes, she stated that it was like being a specimen in a petri dish. She condemned commenting on each other and their looks. She said the same thing about a year or two back as well. She had said, "I think we should be gentler and less comfortable commenting on people's bodies, no matter what." At the end of the day, Ariana Grande is a person, not a doll, not a meme, and definitely not a punching bag for public speculation. Ariana's situation gets worse, but it's more the critics that give it a far more pathetic outline than it really is. So let's try to give her some space and give her some care and be gentle. If Ariana can belt out "no tears left to cry" while advocating for kindness, then the least we can do is listen. What do you say about that? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you like this video, then watch some others on our channel as well. Plus, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more amazing stuff. See you soon! Sean Combs dominated the music industry, building a multi-million-dollar empire spanning records, clothing, and vodka. But in September 2024, everything changed. Federal agents raided Combs' homes, uncovering evidence that would lead to his arrest and indictment. Now, as multiple lawsuits emerge and former associates speak out, we examine the disturbing accusations against Diddy and the system that allegedly enabled him. Diddy's parties became the stuff of legend. Star-studded affairs in the Hamptons, on yachts, and in luxurious mansions painted a picture of opulence and excess. These gatherings, often referred to as white parties, were coveted invitations among celebrities and socialites.
Give a shout out.
Like try to raise money for these, mosquito bed nets.
But as we would later learn, these parties may have served a more sinister purpose than mere celebration. Former party attendee and anonymous source said the parties were insane. Endless champagne, beautiful people everywhere, but there was always this underlying tension like something was off. Now looking back, I realize how naive we all were.
I got my MTV out. Savage! I'm a savage! Oh! I'm a savage! Whatever I want, I'm going to get! Whatever I want, I have to get!
While rumors of Diddy's controlling behavior and temper had circulated for years, it wasn't until November 16, 2023 that the public got its first real glimpse into the darkness lurking beneath the surface. Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former longtime girlfriend, filed a lawsuit accusing him of sex trafficking and years of physical and emotional abuse. The lawsuit painted a horrifying picture of life with the music mogul, alleging that Combs had subjected Ventura to years of control and violence. Among the most shocking claims were that Combs had forced Ventura to engage in sexual acts with male prostitutes while he watched and filmed, plied her with and subjected her to regular beatings. Perhaps most alarmingly, Ventura claimed that Combs had threatened to blow up the car of rapper Kid Cudi, whom she had briefly dated after one of her splits from Combs. This allegation would later find corroboration in court documents hinting at a pattern of violent behavior and retaliation. Combs, through his attorney, Ben Braffman, denied the accusations, calling them offensive and outrageous. However, in a move that raised eyebrows, Combs settled the lawsuit just one day after it was filed. While the terms of the settlement were not disclosed, the speed with which it was resolved led many to speculate about what Combs might have been trying to keep out of the public eye. In the wake of Ventura's lawsuit, the floodgates opened. Just days later, on November 23, 2023, another woman named Joy Dickerson Neal came forward with her own lawsuit against Combs. Dickerson Neal alleged that Combs had drugged and sexually assaulted her in 1991 when she was a college student at Syracuse University. She also claimed that Combs had filmed the assault without her consent and later showed the video to others, making her a victim of revenge. Combs dismissed the lawsuit as a money grab, but the similarity of the allegations to those made by Ventura was hard to ignore. As November drew to a close, the public was still reeling from these accusations when another lawsuit emerged. An anonymous woman, identified only as Jane Doe, filed a complaint alleging that she had been sex trafficked and gang by Combs and two other men in 2003 when she was just 17 years old. The lawsuit claimed that Jane Doe had been flown to New York City, plied with and alcohol, and then sexually assaulted. Combs issued a statement declaring enough is enough and vehemently denied all allegations, but the mounting accusations were beginning to paint a troubling pattern. The new year brought no respite for Combs. In February 2024, music producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones filed yet another lawsuit against the mogul. Jones, who had worked closely with Combs from September 22 to November 2023, alleged that he had witnessed and even recorded Combs and his staff engaging in serious illegal activity. custody. Jones claimed that he himself had been sexually assaulted by Combs on multiple occasions, including at Combs' homes and on a yacht. Combs' legal team dismissed Jones as a liar, but the allegations added fuel to the growing fire. The situation escalated dramatically in March 2024, when federal agents from Homeland Security Investigations conducted simultaneous raids on Combs' homes in Los Angeles and Miami. The raids were part of a trafficking investigation and yielded a treasure trove of evidence. Agents seized over 90 electronic devices, including cell phones, laptops, and hard drives. They also confiscated firearms with some defaced serial numbers and, shockingly, over 1,000 bottles of personal lubricant, a grim corroboration of the freak-off allegations made in various lawsuits. As spring turned to summer, more women came forward with allegations against Combs. In May 2024, April Lampros filed a lawsuit claiming that Combs had and sexually assaulted her multiple times after they met in New York City in 1995. Lampros' allegations were particularly disturbing, as she claimed Combs had once forced her to have sex with his late ex-girlfriend Kim Porter while he watched. The same month, model Crystal McKinney accused Combs of forcing her to perform oral sex in 2003 and subsequently blackballing her from the modeling industry. These new lawsuits, along with the resurfacing of a 2004 interview in which Kimora Lee Simmons claimed Combs had threatened her while she was pregnant, painted a picture of a man who had allegedly been abusing his power and influence for decades. In July 2024, Adria English filed both a civil lawsuit and a criminal complaint against Combs, accusing him of trafficking her from 2004 to 2009. English's decision to pursue both civil and criminal action marked a significant escalation in the legal challenges facing Combs. The final blow came in September 24. On September 16th, federal authorities arrested Combs in New York City following a grand jury indictment. The charges were severe: racketeering, conspiracy, trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. The indictment alleged that Combs had run a criminal enterprise that engaged in trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. The arrest sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Combs, who had built his brand on being a tastemaker and an entrepreneurial icon, was now facing the prospect of spending the rest of his life behind bars. He pleaded not guilty to all charges, but was denied bail twice, with judges citing the severity of the allegations and the potential flight risk. As Combs awaited trial in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, more details continued to emerge. The New York Times obtained court documents detailing Combs' alleged plan to blow up a car in 2011, corroborating Cassie Ventura's earlier claims about threats against Kid Cudi. CNN released security footage from 2016 that appeared to show Combs physically assaulting Ventura in a Los Angeles hotel, leading credence to her allegations of abuse. The fall of Sean Diddy Combs marked a seismic shift in the music industry. As more victims came forward and more evidence came to light, it became clear that the reckoning extended far beyond one man. The case raised serious questions about the cultures of silence and complicity that had allowed such alleged behavior to go unchecked for so long. The fall from grace for the Bad Boy founder has been a swift and dramatic one. Last week, Diddy's defense team fought unsuccessfully to keep the music producer out of federal jail after his arrest. Their efforts to secure his release were ultimately futile, leaving Diddy to face the harsh conditions of the MDC Brooklyn. The Brooklyn facility, which houses about 1,200 detainees, has gained notoriety for its abysmal conditions. Reports of the jail's environment are so troubling that some judges have outright refused to send people there. MDC Brooklyn is primarily used for post-arrest detention, housing individuals awaiting trial in federal courts in Manhattan or Brooklyn. For Diddy, this means he'll be residing here as his case progresses through the legal system. Diddy isn't the first celebrity to call MDC Brooklyn home. The facility has housed other high-profile inmates, including R. Kelly, Fetty Wap, Sam Bankman-Fried, and Ghislaine Maxwell. However, fame offers little comfort within these walls. So what do you think? Are all these allegations true, or are they just to defame him? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. 2025 is here, and it has no plans of taking along people like Ice Spice, who once had the industry wrapped around their perfectly manicured fingers. If 2023 was Ice Spice's legendary rise, then 2024 was her catastrophic fall. And now in 2025, she's crashing and burning in real time. If you don't trust me, then trust the facts, because the numbers don't lie. Her monthly listeners have been cut in half, and her latest song is flopping harder than a fish out of water. And to top it all off, she just got booed off stage at a New Year's Eve festival. How much of a fall off can you have? You clearly liked J. Cole's album. This decline is a full-blown collapse, making everyone realize that the end of Ice Spice is colder than her name. Prepare to dive into how Ice Spice went from being the next big thing to the next big yawn. Let's just start with cold hard facts, should we? At her peak, Ice Spice had a whopping over 40 million monthly listeners on Spotify, and now she's barely holding on to 18 million. That's more than a 50% drop. Makes you want to say, yikes! Her latest song, Think You the Shit, got 8 million streams in its first week. Sounds decent, right? Until you remember that her old songs were pulling 100 plus million. If this was a stock, investors would have sold it months ago. If you recall, she just burst onto the scene with tracks like Munch and Bikini Bottom and quickly became the face of Gen Z rap. I didn't personally like it, but that's okay. Her raps were declared a winner, and her Princess Diana remix with Nicki Minaj was the kind of moment that made everyone stop and say, okay, this is a cultural reset. She had the TikTok crowd in a chokehold, the Barbs backing her, and the music industry throwing major opportunities her way. Moreover, she had the Drake cosign, the Taylor Swift friendship, and magazine covers stacking up like a game of Jenga, or Uno with how many cards she was pulling. Everyone wanted a piece of Ice Spice. She had the game on lock, and it seemed like nothing could slow her down until she started to produce crap like this.
You're not even the fault. I be going hard. I'm breaking their hearts like.
Enough of that song, and don't get me started on Instagram. She lost 540,000 followers in just 12 days. Let me repeat that. Over 500,000 people hit that unfollow button like they were escaping a burning building, just like her career. One major reason is that she keeps getting into feuds, from Nicki Minaj to TikTok influencers, and people are simply tired of the drama. But before we discuss these spicy controversies, let's jump into the incident that proved to be the most fatal mistake of Ice Spice until now. Why? That's because Ice Spice's spiky descent started with a $242 scam. Oh, I mean her concert in Brisbane. My bad. Now, if losing fans wasn't bad enough, Ice Spice just embarrassed herself on a global stage. On December 31st, she was set to perform the Wildlands Festival in Brisbane. It was New Year's Eve, and it was supposed to be a countdown for Ice Spice's birthday, so everyone was hyped up, and some even traveled 6 hours just to see her. Fans had paid a pretty penny, $242 a ticket to be exact, expecting a show that would make them feel like they were ringing in the new year with something worth it. But alas, what they got instead was the complete opposite of what they were expecting. First of all, Ice Spice was 25 minutes late for a 30-minute set. Let that sink in. Some tried to defend her, saying that it was common for celebrities to come late, and it wasn't much of a time. However, it cannot be denied that this incident turned sparkling enjoyment into burning fury. Some fans were trying to stay patient, but it was clear that their excitement was starting to turn into frustration. When she finally stepped on stage, the crowd was ready for Ice Spice to make up for lost time and give them the full show they were promised. But here's where things really took a nosedive. Ice Spice performed for just 5 minutes. Yeah, 5 frickin' minutes. The mic was cut, the music stopped, and just like that, the show was over. It felt like a bad joke, but unfortunately it was all too real. The festival organizers had to make a tough call to stick to the strict curfew, so they cut off her performance right in the middle. According to them, we understand that Ice Spice's delayed arrival caused some disappointment. Managing a stacked festival means that we have to be extremely firm with set times. But honestly, by that point, the crowd didn't need any more confirmation that the night was a mess. Then came Ice Spice's explanation, which didn't exactly win anyone over. When she addressed the fiasco later, she casually mentioned that she had been late because she was celebrating her birthday and needed extra time to get ready like a Barbie. While I'm sure birthday celebrations are fun, let's be real here. When you're a headliner at a major event, that explanation doesn't really cut it. Fans were set to see her perform, not hear about how she was primping for the occasion. God, she's so entitled. Social media went feral. One person said Ice Spice was 40 minutes late to an NYE booking, and they cut her mic and shut her set down after 5 minutes or 2 songs. I don't know who the she thinks she is. Another one tweeted, her music is meh, her performances are subpar, and after all that weight loss, she's not as marketable as she used to be. She may be close to the end of her career. It was the first major crack in the Ice Spice empire, and she didn't exactly handle it well. As if the Brisbane disaster wasn't enough, drama was brewing behind the scenes. Before this Brisbane incident, controversies about Ice Spice started to pop up like weeds. Fellow NYC rapper Cleotrapa had toured with Ice Spice on the Y2K tour, and it went public with claims that she was mistreated, unpaid, and left to fend for herself. Cleotrapa spilled all the tea, stating that she had to carry her own luggage while Ice Spice lived like royalty. She was barely paid for opening performances. Moreover, Ice Spice and her team treated her like an afterthought, as Cleo stated in her 6th part, nearly hour-long TikTok video. Well, a lot of tea to spill, ain't it? Moreover, Cleo claimed that Ice Spice only invited her on tour to rebuild her image after another former friend, Baby Storm, exposed Ice for speaking badly about people, including Cleo and Nicki Minaj. Formerly, Ice Spice texts had been leaked where she talked trash about Nicki, saying she's kinda like my mom, ungrateful and delusional. I cut her off, by the way, not speaking to her till January. She added she wants publishing from all my songs, including third-party writing competitions, so anything I write for other people or any songs I get on. Mind you, I had a Taylor Swift collab before I had the Nicki one. The industry, already cooling on her, saw this as yet another red flag. And speaking of the industry, move some time back more and you'll get to know that rumors swirled around tensions with her label. People were calling her an industry plant, and all she had to say was, I just let people believe whatever they want to believe. To be honest, I don't really mind all the rumors. At first I did, but now I'm at a point where I understand that just comes with this lifestyle. She was struggling to evolve beyond the Munch era, and it showed. Seriously, when it comes to things other than twerking, she's likely to fail badly. Moreover, Ice Spice teaming up with Taylor Swift for the Karma remix should have been a win. Instead, it turned into a PR nightmare. Taylor's then boyfriend, Maddie Healy, had previously mocked Ice Spice's heritage by saying chubby Chinese girl and Inuit spick girl, making the whole collab feel less like a power move and more like damage control. Even though he apologized later, fans weren't buying it. The fallout was brutal. In September 2024, Ice Spice lost a whopping 540,000 Instagram followers in 12 days. Her Spotify monthly listeners also took a nosedive, down 39 million over the year. Less followers, fewer streams, and suddenly the industry's golden girl wasn't looking so shiny. Turns out bad press doesn't always mean good business. Features with big names like Taylor Swift and Nicki Minaj gave her temporary boosts, but they weren't enough to sustain long-term success. And when streaming numbers started dipping, the industry did what it always does. It moved on to the next viral sensation. As of now, Ice Spice is still in the game, but the question is, for how long? Her streaming numbers have dipped, her industry buzz has faded, and the hype that once carried her to stardom is now carrying her straight into the remember when category. Thus, Ice Spice might just be the latest cautionary tale in the music industry's endless cycle of here today, gone tomorrow. Ice Spice's journey has been quite rough since last year. If 2024 was bad, 2025 might be the final nail in the coffin as she collapses into the darkest pits. What do you think about her? Is Ice Spice's career just going through a rough patch, or is this the end of her icy reign? Let's talk about that in the comments. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more explorations into the roller coaster world of music stardom.